Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up, Ghana Standards Authority forces closure of Kumasi Cement Ghana Limited for using inferior materials for production. We've got more as two directors of the company are arrested in a joint operation with the Economic and Organized Crime Office.
To all the cement producing companies in Ghana, we did everything, and after the analysis, the test results showed that they are not using the right raw materials, especially the limestone.
Also coming up, National Petroleum Authority advocates establishment of specialized courts to prosecute criminal actions in the downstream petroleum industry.
We are also looking at SNITs, they have specialized courts, specialized judges that sit on these matters.
Plus, managing coconut waste will tell you about a new project that is set to create more jobs.
Putting in all effort to make sure that for the foreseeable future and even in the future, look at ways to expand into other communities.
My name is Daryl. Kwawu. Thanks for being with us. Details coming up. Thanks for staying with us, everyone. First up, a cement manufacturing company in the Ashanti region has been shut down, accused of using inferior materials in production. Two directors of the Kumasi Cement Ghana Limited were also arrested Tuesday in an operation by the Ghana Standards Authority and the Economic and Organized Crime Office. This follows earlier warnings for the company to halt operations until permission is granted. Nana Bwachiyadom has more in this story.
3 cement manufacturers in the Ashanti region were directed by the Ghana Standards Authority last week to suspend operations due to concerns over the quality of their cement products. Kumasi Cement Ghana Limited, however, failed to comply, informing the forced closure. The move is part of a large effort to crack down on substandard cement production across the country and protect consumers in accordance with the Ghana Standards Authority Act 2022. The exercise covers the prohibition of new cement factories pending a streamlined permit insurance process by regulatory institutions. Ashanti Regional Director of the GSA, Samuel Kofi Frimpong, spoke to Joy News.
Testing the raw materials, we went to all the cement producing companies in Ghana. We did everything, and after the analysis, the test results showed that they are not using the right raw materials, especially the limestone, for the production of the Portland cement. And that prompted us to then call them to a meeting to discuss the issue. Because first, we are under trade and industry, so we also have to ensure that we improve the growth of trade and everything in the country. So we called them. They declined, they didn't come. We follow up with a visit to their factory. And then we met them over there, informed them they have to take steps to address the non-conformities that we have raised, because it will affect the cement production in the country.
According to Mr. Frimpong, the Ghana Standard Authority intends to continue the exercise across the country to ensure producers comply with laid down requirements in the production of cements.
2018, we started national. It's not just Ashanti region. National exercise, what we call cement surveillance. It is a national exercise. It's not just a GSA exercise. It's a national exercise. So certainly we are going to continue. And it's something that we want to do, because posterity will judge GSA if we leave this exercise. Because we have started, we can't just leave it. And it's not only going to be just cement. Because the order, or maybe the instruction from the Director General, is that the building code, being it iron rod, cement, blocks, concrete, whatever, we are going to ensure that the right materials are on the market.
For Joy News, Nana Bwachiyadom, Kumasi.
Now, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, is advocating the creation of specialized courts that will deal with persons will infringe on regulations. Legal Affairs Director Farida Ali Musa, who disclosed this at a meeting with media practitioners in the Upper West region, says aside from opening special courts, judges and the police will be sensitized on the Downstream Petroleum Act for easy prosecution. Joining us is Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
For some time now, members of the public have expressed worry over the sea of fuel stations that have sprung up and sited close to residential facilities. Many are at a loss and wondering how those fuel stations came into being and have fears for their lives. Another is the legal functions of the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, which many are unaware of. Based on the aforementioned, the NPA held a meeting with media practitioners in the Upper West region to sensitize them on the work of the NPA. The media practitioners also had the opportunity to ask any question bothering their minds. Upper West Regional Manager of the NPA, Mam Osman, says the ball rolling on what is required to set up a fuel station.
Requirements. The regulatory requirements here include NPA permit, EPA permit, assemble permit, and then all those kinds of permits from our other regulatory bodies. And then the infrastructure requirement, we look at the office structure, the forecourt, the building, and everything to see whether it is in good shape to be allowed to continue in operation. Waste management and storage disposal, mode of disposal of waste, dirty oil, as well as used filters. And then housekeeping, we look at all the surroundings to see how it is being kept, whether it is acceptable.
Legal Affairs Director of the NPA, Lawyer Farida Ali Musa, disclosed that the Attorney General's Department has ceded part of its mandate and issued a fiat appointing some persons as public prosecutors to prosecute matters for and on behalf of the authority. She said plans are afoot to set up specialized courts to deal with persons who violate the NPA Act.
Now the framework, we are also looking at getting specialized courts purposely for the downstream industry, just like the SNIT does. You know, SNIT, they have specialized courts, specialized judges that sit on these matters, and they are trained periodically, so they understand the SNIT issues very well. It is the same way we want to do. Now, the fortunate part of it is that SNIT has gone through it before, and then we are also going through their books so that we will not be repeating the mistakes that they did in the course of prosecuting.
Head of Economic Regulations and Planning Directorate of the NPA, Dominic Aboji, outlined measures put in place by the NPA to prevent fuel shortage in the country.
The rigorous monitoring or management of the LACAM program. So we have a team of officers who are constantly in communication with the BIDEX, the licensed importers, who are in constant communication with the international oil traders, who are in constant communication with shipping companies who are supposed to deliver their products, just so everybody is delivering on time. We also monitor, we also liaise with some of the international refineries, the refineries overseas, like in Europe and so on and so forth, just so they are also going according to schedule to supply the products that are needed in country. So that is done on a regular basis. Now, another thing we also introduced is what you call the Gold for Oil program. I'm sure many of you are familiar if there was a lot of talk about it at the beginning of this year. It was introduced this year as well. It was actually a payment mechanism where government says that for any oil that is brought into the country, in fact, the time that we are engaging a lot with some of these international suppliers, we propose to them that, we are not getting enough dollars. However, we have gold as a country. So you'll be interested in the gold because Bank of Ghana has gold reserves. We'll give you gold in exchange for the oil. And then for some, they were excited about it and said, yes, so long as you give us the gold, we are ready to bring oil.
Reporting for Dway News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Now, the Petroleum Commission says it is on course to establish a virtual data room to incentivize investors to boost oil and gas exploration. This, according to Chief Executive Egbert Fable Jr., will aid in increasing revenue and contribute to the country's GDP. He said that an investment in 3D seismic data in the country's offshore basin is key to the growth of the sector. Mr. Fable has been interacting with James Ishan on the state of licensing for some oil exploration firms as well.
Seismic data acquisition is a route to go to get a lot more companies to sign up for petroleum blocks in this country. So with PGS, what we've done today is that we have an existing arrangement with them with respect to data acquisition, but there's a need to process and also enhance the data as it exists. So that is what you saw us sign today. At the end of it all, when companies are signing on to license the data, they will see that the imaging that will come up as a result of this data using latest technology by PGS will be more than they need to actually take investment decisions as to where to drill and whether to drill or not.
Now, let's look at licensing regime within the upstream sector. We've seen some new oil marketing companies coming. What is the state of these, their licenses basically? Well,
there are about 14 or so petroleum agreements presently in place in Ghana. Of these 14, 3 are producing oil and gas. A few others are at stages of appraisal. A few others are also waiting to drill next year. And so I would say that there's a lot of activity going on upstream. Every company is responsible for its own program. The Ministry of Energy, the sector agency, is very committed to ensuring that all these companies drill. The Petroleum Commission, as the manager and regulator of Ghana's upstream sector, if you ask the companies, they will tell you. I mean, there are monthly, sometimes weekly meetings on all these work programs and budgets for the necessary approvals to enable them drill. Because, as I keep saying, we cannot wait. We need to bring our hydrocarbons to the surface quickly before the energy transition catches up with all of us.
Are we to see the approval being done before the end of the year?
Well, I mean, oil and gas is very technical. Drilling a well, for example, I was saying yesterday, offshore, ultra deep, will cost you between 50 to 60 million US dollars. It is not government's money that is used. It is investor funds.
Now, the Trust Hospital and its sole shareholder, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, will work together to ensure the hospital becomes more profitable in 2024. According to Chief Executive Officer of the Trust Hospital, Dr. Juliana Oyame, the hospital will leverage its business strategy to boost operations. She spoke to Joy Business at a maiden business meeting with SNIT.
The meeting brought together key stakeholders, directors, and senior management to discuss the hospital's strategic direction, performance, and future plan. Chief Executive Officer Juliana Oyame said the hospital is on a recovery path.
The past 3 years have progressively been getting better. 2020 was a very difficult year for us because of COVID, and it impacted negatively on our bottom line. 2021, we started the journey of recovery, and steadily we've been making good progress in terms of profitability and quality care since then. We are involved with a lot of corporate social responsibilities, the flagship one being Pink October. In the year 2022, we screened over 6,000 women and men for breast cancer. So I think that's the most prominent CSR we have. Impact has been great in terms of increasing our throughput, increasing the publicity of the organization to the general public. It's impacted in the number of people who attend our hospitals and clinics for quality health care. We have set up a monitoring and evaluation unit, which is supposed to track each and every target that we hope to achieve in the strategic plan. We will be having, like I've said, we've had annual plans, we'll have mid-year reviews and end-of-year reviews.
The Trust Hospital offers a comprehensive range of medical services across various specialties, including general medicine, surgery, pediatrics, obstetrics, and gynecology, among others.
Now, the European Union, Serrat Development Organization, and Tree Crop Center have successfully completed and inaugurated a transformative coconut waste hub in Damfa here in Accra. This environmentally driven initiative aims to address the challenges of coconut waste management whilst creating sustainable socio-economic opportunities for local communities. There's more in the following report.
This groundbreaking initiative will also contribute to sustainable livelihoods for local communities by fostering job creation, especially in the waste management and recycling sectors. Head of Cooperation at the European Union in Ghana, Massimo Mina, explained that the European Union is dedicated to working together with local partners.
This is a very important project, even though the amount of funding is only a little percentage of our overall allocation for Ghana, but it is part of our partnership. In this particular case, we are working with the local authorities and with the civil society organization to team up together to implement the green transition. So the green transition is really at the core of the European Union policy, it's part of the Green Deal. And on one end, it's about protecting the environment and ensuring more sustainable practices.
The country director for Serrat Development Organization, Lucille Abraka, emphasized that the inauguration of the Cocoa Waste Hub is not merely a ceremony.
The project is being funded by the EU, and we know that the sustainability of the project would mean that it should continue for the foreseeable future. So currently, we are putting in all effort to make sure that the project is sustained for the foreseeable future, and even in the future, look at ways to expand into other communities, as well as use these products to process other products that can be sold on the market, both locally and internationally.
The construction of the facility forms part of the European Union-funded Coconut Waste Project (COAP), which aims at creating a sustainable green and circular economy in the coconut value chain by working with coconut vendors, youth job seekers, and communities within the La Nkwantanan Madina municipality.
Now, as part of efforts to deepen trade between Ghana and its foreign partners, Fairtrade has organized the Agro-Food and Plasprint Park Ghana 2023. The 6th edition of the conference will explore ways Ghana can develop its agribusiness value chain with support from foreign trade partners and foster beneficial partnerships. Delivering an address at the launch of the fair, Managing Director of Fairtrade, Paul Mears, stated the fair will improve Ghana's dependence on homegrown agri solutions and products.
The Agro-Food and Plasprint Park Ghana 2023 is the 6th International Trade Show and Conference on Agriculture, Food and Beverages, Technology, Food Ingredients, Hospitality, Plastics, Printing, as well as packaging. The fair will host some 70 exhibitors from 12 countries across the globe. The 3-day event will also host conferences and engagement between industry, policymakers, and other relevant bodies aimed at facilitating trade partnerships. In his address, Managing Director of Fairtrade, Paul Mart, indicated that the fair will improve Ghana's self-reliance in agribusiness and trade.
The event aims to help increase Ghana's self-sufficiency and improve supply. Currently, the market can be characterized by the following key figures. From 59 million euros in 2017 to 112 million euros in 2021, Ghana's imports of food and beverage technology show an annual increase of 17% between 2017 and 2021. With already well over 40 million inhabitants in 2022, which according to the World Bank will rise to 80 million by 2050, Ghana is, of course, a huge food market.
The Italian ambassador to Ghana, Daniela Dolandi, expressed her commitment to deepening trade between Ghana and Italy.
2022 has already marked a new record of the volume of bilateral trade between Ghana and Italy, with a volume of 874 million euros. And in July this year, bilateral trade already reached 300 million euros. The most important part of Italy's exports to Ghana remain the capital goods. Over 90 million euros of machinery and equipment has been traded in 2022, an increase of 30% compared to the previous year, reflecting the fact that more and more Ghanaian companies are choosing Italy as their technological partner.
Deputy Netherlands Ambassador to Ghana, Wendy Van Meel, called for the development of the agriculture sector through mechanization to boost employment.
Currently, the agriculture sector is the biggest employer in Ghana, and roughly 30% of the population is working within the sector. This means close to 11 million people of Ghana's total population is employed by the agriculture sector. Additionally, it is relevant to highlight that 77% of this 11 million are considered to be subsistence farmers, and the government of both Ghana and the Netherlands share the perspective that this should be different. It is at this backdrop that, as Kofi Annan said, the Netherlands is partnering with a large group of stakeholders, including the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, to support the Ghanaian food system and support its sustainable development into a space where farmers and entrepreneurs can thrive.
The three-day event, which will end on 23rd of November 2023, is put together by AHK Delegation of German Industry and Commerce in Ghana and Fair Trade.
The Bank of Ghana earlier this week announced the suspension of Wise, ZP and other international money transfer companies from sending remittances into the country after they violated the central bank's forex regulations. Here to tell us more and what the implications are is Henry Kobler, who is lead for Eyes of Africa. Good afternoon to you, Henry. Good to see you. What did these firms do wrong? You're muted.
Okay. So Bank of Ghana basically has a right to put in the Payment Systems and Service Act, which came into force in 2019, Act 987. Generally, they have to regulate their payment systems in Ghana and then all these fintechs that are cropping up in the industry. Now, if you looked at the point where Ghana relatively has suffered a bit of issues when it comes down to our exchange to our cedi, Bank of Ghana basically would also have to look at how these fintech companies can sort of influence the way that our exchange rates and all comes into play. And so if you looked at most remittance companies that are sending in money into Ghana, they sort of using their platforms to push in a lot of currencies into our country. Now, if you're looking at companies like Wise, ZPay, you're looking at Transgo, all of them, they're quite a huge amount of money that is going through their platforms to hit it in Ghana. And definitely they sort of have a lot of play when it comes down to the issuance of foreign currencies and how foreign currency plays out in the country. And so definitely Bank of Ghana is looking at how they sort of violate most of the provisions in the Act and how they sort of influence our currencies, foreign currencies in the country, and they put in some level of suspension in place so that they can sort of be able to put in the right regulations and then the right pointers to making sure that the exchange rate is sort of stable in the country.
What does this mean for customers who do business with these firms?
I mean, it's really going to slow down remittances that are coming into the country, but it's also going to be for the best, because then you're looking at most of these companies are becoming a force when it comes down to dictating the exchange rates to the city. And so with some level of regulations, we're going to have the city sort of pushing in some level of stability, because we're looking at quite a huge amount of money coming through their platforms. Now, again, it means that we will sort of have to rely on some of the companies like Western Union, MoneyGram, World Remit. Those are like sort of fading out in terms of the usage. But again, those becomes the alternative in terms of dealing with exchange rates in the country and also remittances that are coming into the country. There's going to be a very less flow of those remittances coming in, but I think that it basically puts the city at a very good point.
And how does this impact the companies in question that have been suspended?
I mean, interestingly, you're looking at some of these, their numbers in terms of their books and records going low. because you're going to have a very downward transaction force on their platforms. But again, you're looking at how the regulations that govern some of these companies relatively come into force. I've had a very good experience when I have to deal with people that are outside and are going to send money based on the services you're providing and all, and they're going to be dependent on the exchange rates that are quoted by some of these companies. And so again, you're looking at it as Bank of Ghana saying that the interbank exchange rate that has to be adhered to and dealt with to make sure that the people that are also in the country definitely have a very good currency enough to depend on. Again, country is not relatively run by remittances only, and so you're looking at how the people that are also down in the country make use of their currencies. And so if you're looking at these force in terms of their platforms losing, in terms of the transfers of the number of transactions that are going through, you're also looking at the positives where they don't relatively exert a lot of force on the exchange rate as to our city. And so again, you're going to see a very downward point when it comes down to their books and records and transactions, but I think that it's really for the best.
All right. I just wanted to have a quick chat about Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up. We just have a minute. What's the buzz in town? How our online business is planning to take advantage?
I think this year is great. I've already seen quite a number of flyers flying on social media in terms of products, where it has to come to Fridays, Cyber Mondays. I mean, it's exciting if you're looking online to buying and trying to acquire quite a lot of things, but there has to also be a lot of caution because this is also the point where a lot of fake goods are pushed into the market. A lot of products that have sort of been on the shelves for long are also not being pushed to customers at a very low rate. And so you sort of have to be careful. There's quite a lot of deliveries that's going to be held. Again, during Black Fridays, you don't get to even look at the product before you sort of purchase. We don't have proper return in terms of policies for most of these goods. And so people that are going to be on to buy things, they should sort of be careful. But I think that is exciting. We're looking forward to some level of good transactions in terms of the books of vendors that are going to be on this. I've seen a lot of companies relatively in the electronic sector selling mobile phones, electronic gadgets, taking more advantage of this as well. I think that it's good for our economy, but people should be careful.
All right. Thank you so much, and thanks for the advice as well. Happy to see you, Henry Kobler, there. And that's the marketplace. Thanks for watching, everyone. There is more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Don't celebrate yet. There's still quite some distance from finish line. PwC to the government. Also, GRA confiscates illicit tobacco products valued at 7.9 million cedis. More on myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl. Kwawu. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time tomorrow.